Hi there, this is Spoken Screen with your host Ellen Reid. Today I am joined with Tom and Feon, and we are going to be doing this podcast on Love Your Hate, where we discuss films that people really didn't like, and this episode will be on horror films. We will be doing... what's the list?
we have
kind of horror, yeah.
We've got Teeth, we have A Woman in Black, and we have Sharknado as well.
Oh,
I think that's
Classics.
the most debatable horror though.
Classic films. We're currently sitting in the dark room of our college because there's nowhere really that's quiet enough in this place. So we're sitting on the floor.
It's very warm.
It's warm. Yeah, last time I was in here it was freezing. So I feel deceived.
I know, you've deceived me. I've come overdressed.
I'm
with
sorry.
like a jumper on.
I genuinely apologise. Okay, so should we do Teeth first?
Yeah, let's go for Teeth.
You haven't seen Teeth, have you?
no, I have not.
Okay,
No.
So essentially, the concept is that a woman has teeth inside her.
Hoo-ha.
Her ovaries.
Her ovaries, no.
No, wait, no, that's not what I meant. The other bit.
Do you know your
Womb.
female
No.
genitalia?
Clearly not. I'm clearly malinformed.
That's not good, guys.
Alright, well, we're off to a good start.
So yeah, and then whenever she doesn't feel comfortable with whatever, like the guy doing things,
They climb.
it goes, and
Yeah.
then yeah, it's pretty grim, and it's not very graphic. It's not as graphic as I thought it was going to be, but actually, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's quite
Yeah,
graphic.
we see detached penises.
Thing is though,
Peni.
that stuff can actually happen.
Can it?
Yeah, there's actually like studies of. This is quite old, but it's extremely rare. Like women having calcium deposits in their vaginas, which can resemble teeth.
You
Oh
can get,
my
you can get that,
God.
You can get that
That
anywhere
happened.
on your body. There are people who have it on like their forehead where they have like horns from like,
Yeah.
calcium deposits.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
You also see like those kind of things that women have, and they put them in up there, and they have like razors so if they were to. So a man were to do something.
Jeez.
That's the thing, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That's
so
some next level defence. That's
Yeah.
Jesus,
Defense.
right.
there's pepper spray and then there's that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't really compare.
Because it's a very cheerful first
I
film to
thought
talk
getting
about.
tasered sounded like a bad thing, but that's next level. So,
It's been a while since I've seen Teeth. I think it's been about a year, but
yeah,
it's
about a year and a half or so, I
yeah.
haven't seen it for.
It still shocked me though. And remembering it now, it does have that shock factor. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was pretty
Because-
bad. It was graphic. It was intense. I think watching it from two different points of view. I think either way you're uncomfortable because there's the idea of you having your own teeth for a woman, or
Yeah.
then for a guy it's like, what if that happened to me?
Yeah. As a girl, it's not enjoyable. Like I don't know where the angle they were going for, because I felt uncomfortable during the entire thing.
I think it was like Saw, like it was like almost made for like the idea of torture porn. It was like the classic, like
Yeah.
Well, torture porn is like Saw, Hostel, like not actual torture porn, but like it's what they use to describe it. Just where the film is like fully gross out.
Oh,
Yeah.
fair.
I
This is
reckon
actually
that
all
was
we
it.
learn in like first year film.
Yeah, it was intense. It was it was like Saw. It was like there was
Yeah.
no real plot other than the fact that it was the gross out. And what did people say about it? So the concept was incredibly disturbing. However, it was so bad it was kind of funny. I don't think it was that bad. I don't think it was like a badly made film.
No.
It had like the exact same cinematography as most horror films. It was just the concept was really weird.
Yeah. I feel like it seems like it's something of a Stephen King book, but
yeah,
it wasn't.
I get what you mean.
Oh yeah.
It's because the character's always gonna like have that element of something weird happens to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it should like also be added like in the film. I think, what's that thing when Christians don't have believe in sexual marriage?
Oh,
don't believe it. It begins with an A. Absence.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Because not absence, but like abstinence.
Abstinence,
That's it. Yeah.
That's absinthe. That's like the alcohol. It's not got the same
I've had absinthe. I've had a double shot of absinthe, and it
Jesus.
screwed me
I
over.
had this rum that was like, it was Colombian. It was like 80%, and that was horrible. It tasted like burning plastic. It was disgusting.
Nice.
Right, nicely off topic.
But yeah, Feon, I wouldn't recommend it to you because I can imagine it like as being a guy. It's like pretty like obviously the there's the shock factor there.
Well, Fion's getting laid on the daily. You don't want that to
Oh,
anything, do you?
I mean,
boy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say daily, I'd say Thursdays with me, but yeah.
Thursdays.
Yeah, shops are open to 8, man. Yo, big up Working Shopping Centre for the cheeky candles, roses, and also the clothing, alright?
Yep.
Okay. fair enough.
Instead of plugging like his Instagram, Fion's plugging his romantic life.
Oh yeah, you have my Instagram. Well, get my Snapchat first, and then I'll send it to you. To be honest, I forgot what my Snapchat's even fucking called.
It will come back to you.
It'll be on the description.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be on the
just I'll
description.
find it. I'll organise it all for you. But yeah, it's enjoyable, and I thought that. Is it enjoyable?
Well, it's from what I'm
It's-
reading, from what people said, they said it was like it was bad. It was kind of funny, but then they said the concept was disturbing. I think maybe you could say it was like ahead of its time. Maybe it was just not set for the right audience. If it came out now, it would probably be...
It was on Netflix for a while.
Yeah, that's how I
Oh,
saw
right.
it. But it was...
Me too.
But then, like, It Follows came out, and It Follows is like... It's not the same concept, but that still comes from, like, the idea of...
I didn't enjoy It Follows.
I think Teeth plays
Oh,
on
yeah.
the ideas. Well, it plays on the horror
Well,
of sex for teens.
Yeah.
Alright, good question. Is it like... So basically, the woman who has these teeth, is she like a serial killer, or is she just an
No,
ordinary
she's
woman
it's
just
normal.
going
It's
out
almost
in
like
town
have
or
you seen,
what?
have you seen Carrot?
She
Yeah.
It's like that. She's like very Christian, very like...
Oh, okay.
Very
and then she meets
normal.
this guy who's also part of the abstinence group, and then he tries to have it away with her, and she's like, no, I don't feel comfortable, and then he
then-
does, and then yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
that noise just triggered me.
exactly.
Thinking about the
That
film.
is-
Oh no.
But I remind me of It Follows. It's like this concept that's like incredibly new, and I
Yeah.
think it was a bit. I think it came out a bit ahead of its time.
But it is a dated idea because there's always been, because remember last year in Cabin in the Woods and Scream and stuff, there's like the virgin wins,
Yeah,
and
like
survives
sex is
and
huge
stuff
in
like
horror
that.
because it's just such a thing that teenagers are not scared of, but it's really intimidating for like
Yeah,
our
it's-
age.
it's
so
like-
this was terrifying. This was terrifying for people who would like me when I watched it. I hadn't done anything before. That was terrifying
Yeah.
concept.
I think like purity as well, like the destruction of purity is in this film a lot. Like as soon as that happens, it's like, oh, she's kind of perceived as the devil.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's pretty rancid.
There's the bit that makes me feel most uncomfortable is the bit with the doctor.
Oh, with the hand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that was-
tries to because she wanted to
The
be like,
gynecologist.
yeah, she was like, what is this? And then he tried to like, well, he did,
Investigate.
and investigate.
And his hands
Open
fall
brackets,
through.
close brackets, and then
That's ironic. Open brackets.
oh no, Tom,
Oh, wow.
Tom,
Raw.
that hurts.
Podcast ruined.
That literally. Well, it's been ruined from the start. It's fine.
Oh, it's fine. The bit we started to discuss teeth, it was pretty downhill from there. No, I think it was disturbing because when it came out, the people like, well, our age, it was really like what I must have been like 14 when I watched it.
I was 15. I
I can
think.
find out when it came out. I can really quick IMDb.
Yeah, we've not done proper research for this. We were just
Yeah, we should
like,
do more.
should we do a podcast now? Yeah, that's basically. And then Fionn just last minute invited.
I could find out when it was released.
Thank you for being here, Fionn.
It's alright.
Are you a film fan? Because Tom and I study it,
Yeah.
and we really appreciate them. Do you like watch films quite a lot?
Mostly.
There you go.
What?
I'm on
Is that
IMDb.
is that the trailer?
2007 it came out.
Oh,
so
wow.
So when it came out, I would have been 7, and
I
that's
would
not something
not-
as a 7-year-old I would want to see.
Yeah.
No.
And then when it
would
Follows
not
came
watch
out,
that
and
cinema.
what was It Follows? 2016, 15.
Yeah, it was
like-
quite recent
There's
actually.
a new concept of like the demon STD, and it just made like it made sense to our age group. But at this time, when it was a film that it was like Saw, like when you were like 12 and everyone knew of this film, and it was like, oh yeah, there's this really creepy film. Whereas now we have full access to it, and we're allowed to watch it. So I think it was probably more suited to our age group when they were in 2007. So they'd be in like their 20s now.
Yeah.
I don't remember its release though. I don't remember.
How would you rate Teeth? Out of 10.
Out of 10, like
For a horror. Let's go with the horror thing.
okay, as a horror, I'd rate it like a 6 or a 5.
Because it is shocking.
Yeah, and it's still it's a good horror. It's not like Scary Movie. It's not like it's a stupid like concept. Well, it is
No.
a stupid concept, but it's not like it's not stupidly done.
Yeah.
It's made as a horror, and it's made to make you chill, as in chill out, not like chill out. To give you chills. There you go.
That's it.
That's what I'm trying to reach. No, I think it was an alright film as
Yeah.
a horror, but it wasn't. It
Fair
wasn't a nice concept to watch.
No.
Alright.
quite uncomfortable.
It was
as
really
well.
uncomfortable.
Very.
I can imagine it was uncomfortable for her as well. So
Yeah.
I know what the actress thinks about it. Like, imagine that being like your starring role. It's like, oh yeah, what film are you famous for? It's like, oh, I had Peter Bob Jonah. It was a nice film. I enjoyed filming. It must have been so uncomfortable for her to like actually film it as well.
Yeah. Especially like that's what I've always wondered. Like when actors and actors and stuff, they have to play roles that are like very sexually.
Well, they have like pockets and stuff, don't they, to like cover their stuff. They
Yeah.
but even then.
But some films. I was watching. What was I watching? I was watching The Final Destination 4 the other day, and there's a bit where like two people like having sex, and it looks so real. It was really weird, like how they do it in films.
Was it the one by the swimming pool?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he gets like sucked up by the bottom of the pool because he dropped his coin.
It's
I know what you
horrifying.
mean.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you mean. It is this. I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how they do it either.
Well, clearly I don't know how they do it. I've got the worst knowledge of the female anatomy going. There you go. Alright, shall we move on to the next film?
We shall, yeah.
Okay.
So
The next film, I believe, was Woman in Black.
Woman in Black.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen Woman in Black, haven't you,
Woman in
Feon?
Black, yeah.
I've seen Woman in Black. Good role for Harry Potter.
It's
Yeah.
really good. I
Good
feel
move on.
it was great for him because it shows that like because he doesn't want to be known as Harry Potter.
It was like
anymore.
It was one of his first stepping out of his role,
Yeah,
wasn't it? It was
yeah,
like one
definitely.
of the first films he did.
Yeah, because he just wants to show like I can do grown up things and I don't want to rely on a childhood role. Because
Yeah.
I know that some people do, like, I can't think of an example, but there have been cases of people always, like, referring back to and play roles only towards that.
Oh, like Harrison Ford hates the fact he was like in Star Wars. He wanted Han Solo to be killed off because he hated that everyone knew him for that. Or who was the guy from Twilight?
Edward Cullen.
Yeah. Robert Pattinson. Yeah,
That's
the actor,
it, yeah.
He like hated the fact that's what he was known for, and he really didn't like it.
It's just some,
and I imagine
in
that was the
interviews
same
and stuff.
for Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, I'm happy for him.
And people said the acting was alright, suspense wasn't suspenseful at all, and generally was a bad horror film.
I was scared when I watched it.
Well, again, it's like the same as Teeth, like the concept of when it came out. I was 11 or 12 when it came out, and I remember watching it in class when it had just come to DVD.
Really?
You know, like the end of the term, nothing to do in the lesson. Let's watch a film.
They put it on.
Woman in Black, yeah, and I was terrified.
That's crazy.
And that film pretty much got me into horror. That was the first horror I'd watched.
Wow.
And I remember thinking it was. I watched like one horror film before, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was called. And it was just there was like a game at the very beginning of it. It was really weird, but that was the first horror film I'd fully watched, and I found it terrifying. But
Yeah.
I thought the suspense was quite well made.
Yeah, I think because the music, especially, is great in it. Like I'm just remembering like the scene. I think it's the rocking chair bit.
Yeah.
Scares me so much.
Well, like the bit when he looks in the spinner, like the projector,
Yes,
and then like the
yeah.
eyes on the other side. I thought it was really good, or the faces appearing. I think they relied heavily on jump scares.
It's
I
originally
think it really relied on that sort
Yeah.
of like supernatural, but it was just the constant jump scares. It was almost too much.
It was originally a stage show, wasn't it?
I
Or
don't
is
know if it was
it
originally.
filmed
I think
in
it was made into a stage show.
Really?
I've never seen it, but I'd love to.
The stage show.
Have you
Have
seen
you
the
seen
stage show?
Yeah, literally. It's famous because there were only two guys, a father and a son, and they had a budget to rely on. I saw it in 2015 when I was doing an essay on it for drama, and literally, like, it freaked me out more than the film because I was in the audience right there.
Yeah, I think because there was that like because you feel safer when you're watching something on a screen.
Yeah.
Whereas doesn't she like walk down like the aisles and stuff like that?
No,
Doesn't
she don't walk down the aisles. No, literally, she just pops out randomly on the stage screaming, and you're just like, what the fuck?
I'd
Yeah,
love to
that's-
see that. That sounds really. I don't know
that
how
would mess with your senses though.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Like,
they do it though. That's really like.
it's just trickery of lighting.
I've never gone to. I love the theatre, but the only thing I can remember that I've seen recently was Blood Brothers. I'm just trying to think how you'd use that scenery to do horror. It sounds really. I don't know. That would be really interesting.
Isn't it all in like one room, or does it jump from different? Cause is it the same story of him being?
Yeah, pretty much. You've got. It was an odd stage. It wasn't a normal stage. You had the basic left and right, but there was a long sort of aisle.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Pretty much, they would. So like, went in the scene where he pulls the carriage out from the swamp.
Yeah.
Or like the muddy marsh, he would literally go face flat on that, try and pull it out, and then every time you go back to the house, you'd have the living room, you'd have the kitchen, all that, and you'd have the upstairs, which you could literally see him walking up the stairs across the corridor, so he could like run back and forth from when the woman in black
That's
appeared.
terrifying.
That does sound horrible.
It was like seriously, it was covered up with like a sort of translucent material, so it
Yeah.
gave it that sort of misty kind of aesthetic to it, but also so fucking terrifying.
That sounds like the film. Like the film was. I don't know about the plot. I can't really remember the plot. What is it? Like she's like essentially the ghost like looking for her child that died, and he was in like the marsh, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I thought. So the woman that screams, like you know, the very beginning when like the three girls jump. They were
that sort of thing. They said the
that
person who
shocked
said
me.
it said the suspense was bad, but that was suspenseful as hell. That was.
The way they filmed that was excellent. Though,
It was creepy,
it was
and then there was like
really
the scream
creepy.
of the woman as you hear like them fall. Like
Was that scream the mother?
that scream was the
one
mother,
haunting?
or like the nanny who like found them. But it was. I thought the film was terrifying.
I think when it's things to do with children,
Yeah,
it's really.
I
That's,
think. Well, again, that's like in the same way that Teeth relies on the fact that the audience is like in suspense about sex. I think it relies on the fact that the innocence of children, when it's changed,
And purity in
really
that.
like that's what The Ring did. Like The Ring was a child,
oh.
and then there's the classic horror icon of like the girl in white with like the long black hair.
Yeah.
And that looks horrible. That's terrifying. But that's probably scary because it's against our instincts of children being innocent, and it's almost like us not really knowing. So yeah, it was his first role
After
from Harry Potter. So
Which
he's
is
never done
good.
anything like that. So
And-
I'd say the acting was not that bad.
And
That's
then he
fair
went
enough.
to stage shows. I think he was in something called like Equius, and he was naked on stage.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Uh,
That's the way to live it.
yeah.
We should see that as well.
And he's just
He did Horns. I forgot he did Horns.
Oh, yeah.
Was that horror? Would you consider that horror?
No, I'd say it's
What was it?
alternative.
Yeah, it was almost like an alternative drama. It was Horns.
Oh, Horns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was about him like.
Yeah, he was the devil, wasn't he?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, I was happy that like he found something and he's kind of matured out of the.
The last film I watched him in was. Have you seen Swiss Army Man?
I haven't seen that. No.
That was weird, but and it got really. Well, I didn't get that bad ratings, but essentially the concept of it was that like, it's almost like this guy's split personality, and this
Oh.
like dead body he finds almost comes alive, and he uses him as like a Swiss Army tool.
Ugh.
But he not like it just like different parts of his body do different things. But I think it's the idea of this guy having two sides of himself, like one that's trying to mature and one that's less mature.
Oh, interesting.
But was there a woman in black too? That was a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he wasn't in it, and
Oh, he wasn't.
no,
Oh,
and I think it flopped hard.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
a real phrase, but
I don't think I saw it. I feel like I might have.
No,
I definitely
I-
saw the trailer.
I didn't see it.
Yeah. To be fair, it's one of the few horror films
I think there was one.
that has a happy ending. Because him and his child did die, but at
They-
the end
they
of
were
the
the
film,
wife.
They were reunited with the mum, wasn't it? Yeah.
So they were happy.
Well,
No,
that's quite an alternative ending.
But
well,
then-
actually, there was because then it cut away to her
Yeah.
still being there.
Yeah.
And I was about to say it's an
Like,
alternative ending.
even
But
in
it's
the
not. It
even
does
in
what
the
every
afterlife.
it does what every horror does, which is like, hint that they might be coming back, which is just
Yeah.
a hint.
That would have been a nice touch though, like to like have something positive come out of it, and like. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I don't
But
know.
then it wouldn't have had the scary factor.
I think a happy ending to a horror would be too cheesy, but then the haunting ending where it's like, oh, they're still alive is just too cliche. But I don't know how you'd do differently, really.
Yeah.
Like, what was the ending to coming back to it again? It Follows. Like, it ends with like him giving way to like a prostitute or something, and then they're walking away at the end, and it seemed they're like really, like they look really miserable. So it's not a happy ending, but it's a resolved ending.
Yeah.
Because that's probably the most realistic ending you can have to a horror.
Yeah,
It's something that's you like. After a horror, I'm not gonna sleep. If I was in those situations, my life would be ruined from then on. But
Yeah.
that's what they showed. It's like, it's a resolution, but it's not a happy resolution.
But then it's like, well, in the Scream franchise, like the first one, there's a resolution, but then in the next film, it's the basically exact same thing, and they have to find
Yeah.
out who the new killer is, and there's always just a cycle.
That's good because at the end of it, they didn't really hint that it was going to be the same people alive. Or
Mm.
well, Scream was self-referential, so it specifically played against that.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, he's going to come back from the dead, and then he does, and then she like shoots him, and she's like, not in my movie. So they like self-reference the fact that most horrors end like that. That film was so ahead of its time, man.
It
What was
was.
it 97, 96?
Yeah.
It was so advanced on making fun of horrors because horror hasn't changed.
No.
Because the horror it makes fun of is the same, but it's almost different themes, because that used to be like psychopaths and murderers in like the 80s.
Yeah.
And now it's all centred around like ghosts and supernatural.
Yeah.
I don't find that as scary as the killers.
Yeah. Shall we get on
We
to
can
our
move on to our
last
final
one?
one. What's our final one? It is Sharknado.
The first one, or the...
Or any of the other ones. Where? 3 now? Nearly 4?
Yeah, a couple people said Sharknado. I think there was another comment on... There were a couple comments on Sharknado, but I only found the one.
Yeah.
What did they think?
They said absolutely everything in why it was bad. Well, yeah, that was kind of the point, wasn't it?
Well, did the directors know that they were making a bad film?
I think so. I
they
think
were
so.
aware of it.
Yeah, I think it was. If they didn't, then Jesus, that's a stupid concept.
They could have, because I think they were gonna do So Bad It's Good, like The Room.
Yeah.
Well, that's what. Well, The Room wasn't meant to be. The Room was meant to be like serious, and then it was so bad it was.
It was
good.
taken out of context.
Yeah, whereas I think Sharknado was made because they knew it was a stupid concept, and it can't have been that expensive. I mean, the CGI wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. So they clearly didn't spend that much money on it.
Yeah. B movies are always been quite popular, even though we know that they're bad. And I think it was just a spoof of B movies, because some have been excellent. Like there's one about these huge worms, but I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, Holes? They're not Holes.
Slither? Wait,
Oh,
Something
Slither was
beginning
good.
with-
Oh,
Slither was.
Slither.
I liked watching Slither, because Slither's got the guy who played Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, I like that film. It's just about this guy who gets like infected with a parasite and becomes like a giant slug worm thing, and like releases these little worms that infect other people.
Weird.
It was really weird, but I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Sharknado. There's a Sharknado 5. Okay, I did not know that.
5.
So
We're on
5 is
five now.
5 was released last year. Okay,
What's
so
it called?
Global Swarming.
Oh, it hurts.
Oh, Jesus.
God.
And with a 4.2 rating,
Okay.
it can't be that bad. Like I've seen 2 of them. I've seen the first 2,
I think it's just to see how ridiculous they'll go with each film.
and then the first one got 3.3. So the first one got less than the 5th. And I felt like the first one, the point was it was made to be stupid. Like if you look at the genre, it comes with comedy before horror. So I think it was meant to be, like there was comedic elements. It was clearly meant to be a joke.
Yeah.
But then the fact they've released so many now, it's almost them playing on like, oh yeah, do you remember this really stupid film that came out? Then spend money and come and watch the next one.
Yeah, I feel like it should have just worked as a trilogy. I think it's kind
Trilogy would
of...
have been fine.
Yeah.
It
Even
kind
just-
of
even
ran
just the
dry. Yeah.
Because it almost set a new... Well, I think it worked in the same way that Scream did, but it used horror, it used comedy more than Scream. Because there were so many films coming out like that. Like I can't even remember some of them. They were so stupid. There's like Megalodon versus Giant Octopus. Just films like that were so shit. Or like Jaws. Just films that... Well, Jaws was great, but then there were just so many other Jaws. And Deep Blue Sea. Did you ever watch Deep Blue Sea?
I think
with
so.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
And that was a good jump scare. And that film again, it was just these like giant monsters, or like The Host. The Host was Korean, I think, but they Sharknado just made fun of these like giant animals attacking cities, and they did it in the best way, which was to be stupid about it.
Yeah.
And I think it worked.
So I think the first one's the best. I watched the second and third and a bit of the fourth, not like in a row obviously because I go insane, but I jumped around and like watched most of them.
They have to be a joke. Like Sharknado 2 is called the second one. Is Sharknado 2 the second one? Sharknado 3, oh hell no. Sharknado 4, the fourth, and then Sharknado 5, the global swarming. So they've got to be a joke.
Have they got the same? They've got the same characters, haven't they? Roughly.
Yeah.
The main guy.
Ian Ziering, what else was he in? He was in something else that was kind of good. They get better. The reviews get better
as they go on. That's interesting actually, because like usually films, if they're like not so great, like the further they go on,
the worse they get.
Yeah, exactly.
Like The Woman in Black got less reviews. Like the second one got worse reviews.
Yeah.
And so the best rated film we've done here is The Woman in Black.
Yeah.
And that was like 5.6 on IMDb.
That's probably my favourite out of the 3.
Well, that was the scariest one.
Yeah.
Because that was the one that I think that film, not only did it get me into horror and a lot of people into horror, it branched so many horror genres. Like it really opened up the supernatural ones.
Yeah.
Like I think it branched its way for like Insidious, Conjuring. They're all the same. It's always these like weird ghosts that are there and then not, and it plays on hauntings. Which
See,
is
I can't watch things like that. I think I watched Insidious, but I was a bit drunk, so I had no idea what really was going on, and I was scared
smashed
less.
when I watched the second Insidious. Yeah,
Horror films are fun to watch when drunk because I don't feel as scared.
They're less scary. Yeah.
I feel more confident when I'm watching it. Like I watched Get Out when I was drunk and I made drunk notes, which was really fun to read back on.
I did Fight Club drunk when we did it for film. I did that drunk. That's my first viewing.
So good.
So my entire essay that I had in, I got a C for. It was drunk. I did really well.
It's amazing.
I don't understand why the reviews get better, because the first one got such bad reviews, but the point is it was a joke. It was a joke film and it got terrible reviews, so they rated it seriously. And then they've been rating all of them seriously, and apparently they get better, but I just imagine they get worse. Like Shrek. Shrek just gets worse. Well, Shrek does the same thing. They have like Shrek 1, Shrek 2, Shrek the Third, Shrek Forever After.
Yeah.
And then these ones are doing the same thing with the titles. They're like different each time. It's not like Star Wars Episode 6. They specifically make fun of their own titles.
Yeah.
They're coming out like once a year. And they came to TV movies. Okay. So they were on TV. I don't know.
Because they were on Sci-Fi. Because the first one was on Sci-Fi originally. Because I think the Sci-Fi, the channel like funded it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, hey, it's tolerable. And then everyone was like, this is the most dumb film ever. And then it just kind of exploded from there.
Right.
Yeah. Because Sci-Fi is known to have really crappy B movies on there that make no scientific sense.
On Sci-Fi as well.
Yeah.
I completely agree. So they. Coming up for one of the quotes of the films was by Finn Shepherd. He said, he says, "Sharks. Why does it always got to be sharks?"
I remember that.
Yeah, and I think it's taking the piss out of other. Like that's clearly Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
When he like drops into the pit of snakes. And he's like, snakes. Why is it always going to be snakes? So they're like.
Is it
Indiana Jones? It was good.
postmodernism?
I think so. Yeah, it would be postmodernism. It's self-referential as well as referencing other films, and like. Snakes, why does it got to be snakes? It's kind of funny because it's like, he's scared of snakes. This is a really funny situation. And then this is like sharks. Why does it always got to be sharks? It's like it's never
not
always
every day.
sharks. Yeah, it's not every day that sharks appear. It's clearly. I think it was. That's Sharknado 5 that's quoting as well.
Oh really?
So it's clearly taking the piss out of like monster films. I think.
So yeah, how would you rate Sharknado overall as a horror?
Okay, as a horror. Because it does say it's a horror. As a horror, 3 or 4. Like, it wasn't very scary. It could be. There was jump scares, but, like, can you...
Yeah.
I think a good horror is when you leave it feeling scared.
And,
like, Lights Out. When I left Lights Out at the cinema, I was quite spooked. Because it's the idea that anything can live in the dark. That's terrifying. Sharknado, I did not finish and then think, oh, shit, what if a shark comes through my window? I wasn't worried about Sharknado, so I said 3.
So, but as entertainment-wise, how would you rate it?
Oh, a good 6 or 7. I thought it was funny. I thought it was really funny.
It's great to watch with friends.
Yeah,
especially.
it's a piss take film.
Yeah.
I think it's set its stone in like postmodernism in the fact that it was such a bad film. It was good and it was a joke film. Like everyone knows Sharknado. Everyone's heard of it.
Did we? I don't think we rated Woman in Black.
We did not. What would you rate Woman in Black?
I'd give it.
As a horror.
As a horror.
Yeah. Okay, as a horror, right. Screw it, I'm going for a 10 because of like
10.
It's the fact that it was so unique and different from anything else that was shown.
Yeah, it was 2012. It didn't rely on as much body horror.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was like no gore. It was graphic because like there were like no actual like inside gore.
It was hinting at it. Hinting at it was worse. In Teeth, you see a guy's dick fall off. That's not. But then in Woman in Black, you see 3 kids jump out of a window and you don't see what happens, and it leaves it up to the mind.
Which is scarier.
I'd rate it 7 or 8.
Yeah, me too.
Just because it branched so much horror. Because it got our age when we were all 11 and starting this like new trend of liking horror. It opened up Insidious, Conjuring. It opened up all of those sort of films for us, like Lights Out, all the classic terrible horrors that come out every other year every other month. They just are so easy to make, and I think because it wasn't like all the other ones like that, it was so easy to make. It branched out horror really well, and it branched out Daniel Radcliffe as well. It got him out of his. He went from one extreme to the other, and I think that really helped.
I think it surprised a lot of people as well because they weren't expecting him to go straight into that horror.
Everyone watched it and thought, "Oh, that's Harry Potter." And then the first thing he does after coming out of being like this childhood hero is being in a horror film.
Yeah.
And then he did quite a lot of horror. Well, I think kind of horrors. Then he did horror.
And then
he did the Frankenstein one, did he?
Yeah, he was in Igor, I think.
Or did he play Igor?
Oh.
I think.
Yeah, he was Igor. I didn't
That
see
film's
that.
amazing.
I haven't watched
It's on
it.
Netflix. I think that
Is it?
Young Frankenstein. That's it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I haven't seen it. I might
And he
try and
plays
give it a watch.
Oh,
Igor.
that film is amazing.
Need to watch it. It's on.
Oh,
I
you
think it is
must.
on Netflix.
Yeah, no, it's still on Netflix.
I will watch it.
Netflix has some good horrors, to be fair. There you
Yeah.
go. Shout out to Netflix. Get them out there. I think
Hey.
they're in a lot of debt at the moment because they're not paying properly.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, damn.
I pay for my own Netflix. I feel so adult about that.
Do you?
I don't like.
Right. That's what I'm gonna do that now.
I used to rely on like my uncle's account, and I was like the 4th like account user, and then my aunt swapped me and used to put her name on mine instead, and I was so salty. So then they changed the password, so me and my sister couldn't use it anymore. So we just have a joint account. I think
Nice.
we pay like £4 each a month.
Great.
Nice.
It's really cheap. I'm trying to think what else horrors he did. So yeah, he did
He was in a romantic comedy, which I was going to see, but
Victor Frankenstein.
That's
what he did.
it,
He was
yeah.
Igor.
he was in a romantic comedy which I was going to see, but I didn't have proof that I was 12, so I couldn't go in.
Which film was that? Was that recent?
Kind of. I think it was soon after Woman in Black, actually.
Trainwreck.
He was in Trainwreck.
Yeah.
No, that's the Amy Schumer film.
Oh, I don't like Amy Schumer.
I don't like Amy
Oh,
Schumer.
man, she's like the worst
So
person.
it's like.
She steals. Have you seen those
The
things?
montage of where she steals.
She
other
steals
people's jokes.
everyone. Oh my
Yeah, she's
god, it's
terrible.
actually terrible.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I can't remember what it was called, but it was quite cute. I think he was American in it though. I don't know if I like him
What-
with an
What
American
If?
accent. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. That was 2012. So yeah, you would have been right. You would have been 12.
Yeah. I was I didn't have proof that I was though, so they wouldn't let me in.
Have you seen
Oh.
Imperium?
Yes, I was going to talk about that.
I was gonna say for Daniel Radcliffe,
Imperium.
that was great. So
Yeah.
basically, he plays like I don't know what his role is. Is he like a detective? Like
He's an
police
FBI
officer?
agent
Yeah, that's it.
undercover in a skinhead operation.
Yeah, he's trying to like break down like this KKK operation. So
Oh.
in response to that, he becomes like a supremacist,
Oh my word.
and it's really good. Like
Oh.
just the front logo is him like with like the skinhead wearing the jackets, and he
Oh,
goes.
I've seen photos
And
of
he
that.
he
yeah.
tries to like get into the group, and he like goes on marches, and his friends see him in like these supremacist marches, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" And he's just like, "Don't worry about it." And he's
Oh
doing
my
like
gosh.
these racial like marches.
So yeah, he's really going out of like
He
what
really
everyone
lived out
expects.
Harry Potter, yeah,
It's
I think-
great.
I think it was really good.
I feel like I'm probably wrong here, but wasn't there like a thing in the film like towards the end he ends up like liking the people?
He
He's
gets
weird.
along with some of them. Some of them are nice, and then he has to obviously eventually bait them out
Yeah.
because they're doing an operation to blow something up. They've got like loads of bombs. But yeah, it did really well. I really enjoyed that film. That is in my top 50 films. I really
Really?
enjoyed it.
I will watch that.
Give it a
then.
watch. It's really good.
Yeah.
He's a good actor, and I think he
That's
did well
good.
for himself. And I think Women in Black helped him branch out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So there you go. Those are our 3 horror films.
3 horror
Yay.
Horror
films.
in
Yay.
brackets.
Thank you, Feon and Tom, for joining.
It's alright, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
it's been fun.
Do you want to plug anything? Let people know about you, or are you?
Snapchat Tom.Spencer, but Spencer's spelled wrong. SER, because my dad's a dick. It was his middle name, and he changed it to his last name, and
Oh,
that's my last name. Ah, that's so rude.
that's really rude. And
So
Feon,
selfish.
anything to add?
I think my Instagram is Feon.Neville.
Oh, I'll get your Snapchat up, man. I'm gonna
Alright,
We're finding this out.
hit me up for some poser pictures.
Yeah, really
Look at my
hipster.
gorgeous face with some.
Your Snapchat is
Gorgeous.
Direstark, I believe.
Oh, Snapchat is Direstark. You know where to go.
DIRESTAA.
Is that Game of Thrones reference?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was into it at one point.
Nice. I'm proud.
I've never watched Game of Thrones. Next session, Game of Thrones, Peaky Blinders. We'll do TV shows.
Yes.
There you go.
Hey.
Sorted.
That'll be fun, actually.
I'm up for that.
Oh,
Yeah, me too. Okay, well,
Alright.
thank you again for joining.
This is
Oh,
us
chill.
signing off.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't have a goodbye thing, so I need to have come up with a phrase to say goodbye.
You
I-
can develop one.
I'll work it out
Yeah.
because I just kind of say goodbye awkwardly at the end.
Alright, bye.
Yeah, literally. All right.
Yeah, I think something.
Thank you for listening and thank you for joining. And I will. I don't know. I won't see you. Oh, you'll hear from me in the next episode.
Have a chill
Thanks.
day, G's.
Yeah,
Thank
that's right.
you.